Morning, another beautiful day in God's kingdom. Necessity, they say, is the mother of invention. And we look at that in this story that we have before us today as we look at 1 Samuel chapter 21. And let's read what it says from verse 10. It says, "That day David fled from Saul and went to Achish, king of Gath. But the servants of Achish said to him, 'Isn't this David the king of the land? Isn't he the one they sing about in their dances, saying, Saul has slain his thousands and David his tens of thousands?' So David took these words to heart and was very much afraid of Achish, the king of Gath. So he pretended to be insane and to be insane in their presence. And while he was in their hands, he acted like a madman, making marks on the doors of the gate and letting saliva run down his beard. And of course, when King Achish saw all of this, he was upset and he said, 'Get this madman out of my palace,' basically. And what is it that we find happening here? Now, of course, we know that David had to flee from King Saul because he was, his life was in danger. And he went ahead and in fleeing, he ran to the first place of refuge, or the nearest place of refuge that he could think of. And that was the land of the Philistines. And then he finds himself in this situation where he has to basically humiliate himself, pretend to be mad to get himself out of that place. So what was happening here? The first question you want to ask is, yes, you were fleeing for your life, but did you inquire where you were supposed to go next? And of course, because he didn't, he took himself into this place where again his life was now threatened. And sometimes that's what happens to us. We find ourselves in a tight spot. We find a way of, we were able to get out of there, but we don't ask God, what's the next step? What am I supposed to do next? Where should I go? What should I do? Because when we do that, then God will lead us and direct us to the right place. But in this case with David, of course, he finds himself in the wrong place, and it's only by the skin of his teeth that he gets out alive. So every time we find ourselves in a tight spot, let's be very quick, first of all, to make that prayer to God before we begin to take the next step, which could be leading us from frying pan, as they say, into fire. But of course, when we have the Holy Spirit, God will always direct us and lead us where we should go. God bless you. Have a beautiful day.